Lush was a band that started on almost a lark. With hard work, ended up being one of the most memorable members of the shoegaze genre, but found themselves as part of the 90s Britpop phenomenon because the album they had just released, Love Life, was their most pop album yet. And they had such an eye-catching lead singer. But image and style are funny things. Some people may see what you're presenting as confident, mysterious. But that same eye-catching lead singer lets us know in an interview that others see it completely differently. Quote, "Blimey, I recall Suzanne Vega..." No, don't do the bad accent. No, really, she said, "I recall Suzanne Vega once pointing out that Madonna may be breaking boundaries, but every teenage girl who dresses like her is still being treated like a slut. I'm experiencing a similar uncomfortable side effect with the supposed androgyny of Britpop. While Justine from Elastica and Sonia from Echobelly and Louise from Sleeper, wearing suits or jeans and a t-shirt, get treated as one of the boys, my long hair and short dresses are now a signal that I'm gagging for it." James Brown, different James Brown, yes, that James Brown. He had started a music and football magazine called Loaded, a magazine that was a big part of lad culture, which was a British and Irish subculture. We would probably call that bro culture here in America. It was reframing misogyny as something edgy. James Brown is someone she has known since the band's beginning fanzine days, someone she would have described as a skinny-arsed brat, someone she's having trouble thinking of as the Hugh Hefner of Britpop. But he agrees to plug their album, Love Life, in the magazine if her and her bandmates strip down to a bikini. I told a fair few people to fuck off during that time, which only made them laugh all the more. Ooh, feisty. Though most of the men were nothing like as bad as this, few objected to the behavior. There wasn't much solidarity between women either. Feminism was just an empty girl power slogan that seemed far more about celebrating your girly BFFs and being allowed to get your tits out than treating women as equals. So, sorry for being a party pooper. I know a ton of you had a blast, but I fucking hate Britpop, and I'm glad the whole sorry shit fest ended up imploding. I just wish it hadn't done so much damage while it lasted. Damn, well, it's crazy how image and, well, everything appeared so much different than I thought. Hi-yo, it's me, Io, the popcorn philosopher. Welcome to the show! Welcome to my first rock style video. I'm calling Siren Style, which is very hard to say with a lisp. Nothing like making it extra hard on myself. And by the way, isn't it like extra mean that they put an S in the word lisp? I'm just saying. And probably the reason why I have this lisp is my overbite. And today's video is my fellow lady of the overbite, Miss Miki Berenyi of Lush. And the first thing I'd like to do is say happy birthday to this very special lady. Happy birthday, Miki. No, different Miki. Oh, Miki, you're so fine, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Miki. Not that Miki either. But her birthday is this Saturday the 18th. Hopefully this video is not too disorganized. I didn't have a lot of time for preparation to get this in time for her birthday. It might not be good preparation, but it might be preparation H. Or preparation A-OK. Wow, that sounded bad even as it was coming out. Anyway, let's get started. Miki, who was the lead singer and one of two main songwriters of the band Lush, Emma Anderson being the other lady. And another cause to celebrate is that Miki has a book that came out late last year called Fingers Crossed that I really want to read. Let me know if you want an adult book report. I can also be a really fun lunch lady if you want.
Excuse me, I will not have that. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
I'm not sure why you'd want that. Something about Lush does remind me of being a little kid. Growing up, admiring her style. Just a 90s indie fashion queen! And also her incredible underrated songwriting. I mean, both ladies are incredible songwriters. Ever heard was when I snuck downstairs in the middle of the night to watch 120 Minutes, and they played the song Lady Killers.
Here we go, I'm hanging out in Camden, drinking with my girlfriends on a Saturday night. This guy says, come and meet my girlfriend.
And my life was changed. I thought, who are these girls? And particularly Miki. She was also someone who's of mixed Asian descent like me. Her father's Hungarian, but her mother is a Japanese actress. And she really did make me love my overbite. I thought, wow, this is a girl with an overbite just like me. And also, she definitely inspired my own love of bright hair color. Bet you couldn't have guessed that. And she did it in a way that was really unusual. The people back then who wore bright hair colors at the time would wear lots of heavy makeup, and she didn't really do that. She paired it often rather barefaced, sometimes with bleached eyebrows. And I love the look of bleached eyebrows, and bleached eyebrows have definitely come back. Julia Fox, hello.
My vagine is retired. The doors are closed.
But every time I tried to wear this look, I look like I'm no longer with us, let's face it. I look completely dead. But on her, it looks so fresh and different with her signature cartoon red hair. Sometimes she wore a slash of red lipstick or a black eyeliner. But my favorite was definitely the barefaced look that I saw of tour photos.
But as it turns out, the way I saw Miki's image, as well as her musicianship, which to me seemed confident and intentional, had very dubious beginnings.
You know, we did not start off. There was no template. There was no, we're going to form a band. We're going to be playing Wembley. We want to tour with blah, blah, blah. Because we started to get press, you know, you're living in London. Emma had been working with Jeff Barrett, who was doing press for Creation and stuff. So suddenly we were getting written about, and it was like, whoa, hang on a minute. We're absolutely not ready for that. But it meant we had to kind of really get our shit together, because people would come and see us and go, okay, they are appalling. So it was suddenly like we had to sort of match up to what people were saying about us. But I do remember Emma suddenly coming up with these songs where I was like thinking, oh, bloody hell. Okay, like I need to really up my game, because she's actually taking this really seriously now. Because I didn't know how it worked when I got into it. So that idea of an image, again, we just sort of waltzed in and thought, well, this is how I dress, this is how I look. Now, what I remember is about kind of first sort of being put in the press and stuff, was just thinking, that's not how I thought I looked. Like, suddenly I look really kind of rabbit in the headlights and a bit stiff and small and shabby as well. My clothes were like a bit crap. And I didn't really have, because my mum, I'd grown up kind of away from my mum a lot of the time. I'd not had a kind of guiding female hand to show me how to brush my hair properly and keep a check on that. So we had this makeup artist, Sarita, who I've written about, who just kind of was like, okay, Miki, I think we need to spend a little bit of time. You know, just, I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to show you how to put your makeup on and all of that.
See, I would never have guessed any of that. In a different interview, she would talk about Deborah Harry, the lead singer of Blondie, whose album Plastic Letters was one of the first albums she purchased herself. The way she describes Deborah Harry is the way growing up I saw Miki.
I think me and probably half the country saw them on Top of the Pops and were like, blimey, this is amazing, like, you know, and, you know, they were instantly very, very, very popular. But I wouldn't have had the language to say what was so interesting about her. But looking back, I think it is that mix of quite cartoony and clearly very glamorous and all of that, but a sort of odd, off-kilter edge.
There's that punk, that CBGB's thing was never too far from the surface.
No, and she had that kind of jerky way about her.
Slightly trashy at the same time as being glam.
Yeah, and a bit of attitude and really odd lyrics.
But the song Lady Killers itself was so fun, so spirited, lots of attitude, sort of this harder, fuzzed out Go-Go's vibe.
So he talks for hours about his sensitive song, and his favourite subject is sex. I don't even think he really wanted it.
Yeah, I did not know until I researched this video that this song is about specific rock stars. The third verse is about Matt Sharp of Weezer. The verse where she says he flirted like a maniac, only had to have her because she put up a fight. That he only talked about himself and that there was nothing special about him till he turned out the lights. Good to know. And yeah, the second verse is indeed about Anthony Kiedis. I remember Anthony Kiedis inviting me to come along with the band to the ballet. I didn't realize he meant a strip club. I genuinely thought they were off to see Swan Lake. Thankfully, I was enlightened and declined. Why the hell would I want to go to a strip club, I thought. Now, all this went down while she was on tour with these guys on the very famous, infamous Lollapalooza tour of 1992. Wikipedia says that she also saw Anthony Kiedis being very manipulative and she saw him abusing groupies. All this rock star boy behavior really wore on both her and Emma. So looking at Miki's Twitter feed, that really explains this post. Lollapalooza 92, in order to fit in with the machismo, Emma and I become Emlyn and Michael before joining Ministry on stage to play guitars on So What, Pittsburgh, January 3rd. How do you say that? Machismo? Machismo? I don't know. Monchismo? It sounds like a very delicious cheese. In addition to the boy drag, I really love what Miki was wearing on this tour. In my opinion, she's really wearing kind of the best of the 90s, but because of her hair, it doesn't really feel necessarily too 90s. And as juicy as Lady Killers turned out to be, it's only one of the many great songs on Love Life. But I always wanted a big sister, and she really felt like a big sister. I mean, from a lyric standpoint, someone who was much wiser in the area of boys and relationships and not afraid to call them out. But also, she was still trying to figure herself out too, which is super relatable. And that's the vibe on a lot of the songs on Love Life. The album was one of their biggest, most successful albums, and apparently they took a lot of flack for making such a pop album. I feel like today, pop has so much more respect. They probably wouldn't have gotten the same flack today. I'm sure Miki had to put up with a lot of bullshit in her career coming up. I actually just read an article where she talks about how the Britpop scene gave the illusion that they liked women with attitude, but behind the scenes, it was very different. I'll link the article down below. But apparently not much has changed. For instance, it's really upsetting to me that the only reaction to Lady Killers on YouTube, the reactor that reacted to the song, first of all, he says that Miki sounds like a man.
Look at those ladies. They're killer. That's a woman? Dude, she kind of sounds like a man, I'll be honest with you. Dude, I know I said her voice sounded kind of manly, because at first it really did, but then as you listen to more of it, you can kind of hear the feminine voice in her.
That she and Emma are booze bags.
Few lines of powder, is what I should say. These ladies look like some booze bags. In a car, and this song, Lush, Lady Killers, come on. I'm gonna be looked at like a big old puss ball. And
that he's sure at least one of the ladies is dead. I mean, Jesus.
I don't know anything about this man, but I'm pretty sure one of them died from an overdose. I don't know.
And sadly, the truth is that one of the male members actually passed away. The drummer, Chris Ackland, who sadly unalived himself. And I hate that I have to say it that way, but YouTube. But that was the main reason Lush stopped making music. And according to Miki, the reason why they didn't want a reunion for a long time, although they did do a reunion around like 2015, 2016, I actually got to see them. I actually got to see them play. I was so excited. I saw them at the Warfield. They also made some new music. They did a new EP, which was so exciting. But they did end up breaking up again and decided not to make music again, which makes me very sad. But Miki's currently in a band called Piroshka, which I actually haven't heard any of their music. By the way, do you know any of Piroshka's music? Let me know in the comments. I just realized maybe that reactor thought they were big drinkers because their band's name is Lush. I just thought of that.
What a deludinoid.
Although I thought the name is more like lush, like the tones of it are lush. The
music being lush and dreamy with interesting, like, off-kilter harmonies. But also, they're very vulnerable, too. I love how on Ciao, you have these two sides juxtaposed against each other. Verses in the chorus are just her and Jarvis Cocker just kind of dueling it out.
'Cause she's 50 times the person you will ever be. Oh.
Good luck, mister, do you think I can?
While the bridge is kind of the vulnerable side.
I bet you're loving every minute of it. Sitting in the kitchen, eating meager meals with the curtains closed.
I just realized what he says there. Sitting in the kitchen, eating meager meals. Oh no, not meager meals. Not with the curtains closed. Miki writes, Ian Astbury of The Cult and Jarvis Cocker of Pulp looking super cute at the Lush after show at the Electric Ballroom, April 1996. My career as a celebrity snapper never really took off. I'd love to do another analysis of Love Life on another video. Let me know in the comments if you want that. But let's talk about Miki's unique, iconic style. Miki's beginning looks were very goth, lots of black. Here she is, only 15 in 1982. But really the first years of her as a musician were marked by lots of black clothing. She makes fun of it here in this magazine where her and Emma are parodying their former fashion choices. But I love this black patent leather coat though. There are lots of these pictures of her with pale saints. And her hair journey is interesting too. Early days were big and long and poofy. Well, hell, it was the 80s. Then big and short and poofy. Oh, but here it looks really cute, I think. And then you started seeing more of a bob length, which was so cute with these kind of 60-ish headbands. Finally, her more iconic length, as well as that signature blonde bit in the front, which I believe inspired Ginger Spice, but maybe that's just me. Her fashion choices later would be marked by lots of pop colors, and despite what she said about her short dresses, which there were a variety of kinds of short dresses, she also wore lots of t-shirts in complementary pop colors. Other signatures were graphic patterns and lines, including this iconic dress which is on her book, and I believe her soundman Pete was talking about this dress. Every time I wore it for a gig, soundman Pete would take one look at the focal areas and ask, "Cold outside, is it?" Here she is giving soundman Pete her black slash of eyeliner. Another thing you saw a lot of was shine and sequins. And proving that she could be a bargain shopper, this memorable sequined look in complementary green to her hair, which she says she only paid $14.99 in the H&M office Christmas party section. It doesn't look particularly Christmassy, but it is red and green. She actually wore lots of green. And I love this silver jumper she wore in the Nothing Natural video. I would totally wear this today. Actually, a lot of the stuff here I would wear today. This is the video that she said they were forced by the video's director to act in a very specific way, I guess appropriately in an unnatural way. They do kind of look like little lady shrinking violets here, which is very un-Miki. Here on Twitter, on her last 55th birthday, she shows how uncharacteristic it is and why we love her. It's 1 a.m. and I'm 55. Absolutely no idea how I made it this far, but I'm fully grateful that I have. Here's 2 photos from summer 94 when I'm precisely half my age. This feels like an appropriate illustration of my contrasting feelings as I toast my good health. Kisses. Oh, and yes, before everyone comments, women were allowed to have underarm hair back then. Today, things have come full circle where she's back to black, albeit more chic. Here she is having dinner with her cousins, and I know she worked for a magazine. Doesn't she really look like she works for a magazine? That was so much fun, you guys. Thank you so much for helping me celebrate this wonderful, unique, beautiful indie queen, my sister of the Overbite. If this is your first time checking them out, I definitely suggest the album Love Life. If you like a more shoegazy type of sound, I definitely really like I definitely like Spooky. I think that's probably my favorite of that one. And if you are a Lush fan from the beginning, let me know what your favorite Lush song and album is. Maybe I'll react to your favorite album if I haven't heard it. Anyway, like and subscribe if you can, and share. Share. Sharing is very important for the channel. This is very much my dream to do content creation full time. So help a girl make her dream come true. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, that your life is a lushly soundtracked musical, and I hope that I get to see you next time. Popcorn Philosopher, over and out.